it's weird because they just going back and forth. I mean, now I think it's kind of calmed down. I gotta kind of hit her up again to see how's everything going, because she was telling me she couldn't like go to school. You understand? Because like, you know, all the girls and stuff like that were in danger and things of that sort. So it's just been crazy because, like I said, I went and looked at some of YouTube videos, and I could see, like, you know, cops are catching people like raiding places, like they're having to shoot them with them, like, you know, them rubber bullets and stuff like that. The Nigerian people over there, they're protesting. They were mad because, you know, there are people, you know, being killed and chasing out some people that have businesses over there. And like I said, it was just getting ruthless. Like, they were just killing people, leaving people dead right there in the middle of the street. Like, it was getting like crazy. And what she was complaining about was like their president wasn't saying nothing for like a little minute. Like, he let it go on for like almost a whole week or two and didn't say nothing. And then finally, like, they decided to like sit down so they could have that talk. So I need to try to hear her up and see how's that playing out over there.
Update?
Yeah, like, what's the update? How are they doing? I just wanted to touch on it because I know it was pretty serious. I know a couple famous people like that's from Africa kind of talked about it. Like Trevor Simeon, he spoke on it because he's from South Africa, and
That's the late night dude.
yeah. And then the dude Burna Boy, I know a lot of people probably don't know who that is, but some people do know who that is because he's a artist. He's an Afrobeat artist from like over there. Like,
I just saw a clip on him on Bolo.
yeah, so he was talking about it as well, the situation and stuff like that. He kind of touched on it because if I'm not mistaken, I want to get this right. I think he's Nigerian, if I'm not mistaken. I think Burna was Nigerian. Don't kill me for that. I'm trying to keep up with all of those stuff like that because I just started listening to some of his music, and some of his music is really good. So
that's just the music, but I saw a video on Bolo Alert where he paid a fan in the audience. He paid them to go home because they weren't their reaction to his music. It wasn't doing it for him. So it was like, nah, you go home. You look bored.
As long as you paid him.
Bruh, put the money right in his pocket and say, go ahead, here's your ticket.
No, but I mean, even because, you know, some of the stuff, because he's African, you may not understand. But just one of the songs I have from, I guess, one of his recent albums, I was playing that thing in the car, and that thing sounded nice. Just like that, the beat and like the melodies.
What's his name?
His name is Burna Boy.
Oh,
you know who that is?
Yeah, that would be snapping. That boy got that.
Yeah, he good. He got a song that I like right now. Like, most majority of the song, I can't understand because, like I said, it's different language.
He be like, my nigga.
But that thing is snapping.
Really
he really be snapping. Like, I was listening to some of his music, and I've been hearing more and more about him all the time. So I was like, okay, you're doing your job because you're making over this side, so people find out about him.
I'm gonna show you the song. This the same dude. This dude, right? Is that this?
Yeah, I think that's the same. Yeah. Burna Boy. This, I'm gonna show you the song that I was listening to. This from off of this album, African Giant. You could try to listen to that too. Right, where is it? Oh, you have it. Oh, I think I had downloaded it for you. Oh, that's the song I let you hear in the car. Yeah. I completely forgot about that. I'll let you hear it when we're done. It's a nice song. I had like how it sounds a lot. Yeah, that's why I wanted to touch on that. I had to really check up on her and see how she's doing. Of course, I miss my friend. You know, a sad part of her living on the other side of the world. You don't get to travel that much to see people like that because it's different from when you're traveling just here, like U.S. or certain other places. Like, them ticket prices to travel from like overseas to
$1,500.
Right. And that's the crazy part. Like, when I even sit back and think about that, it just be just the ticket price just to get there. When you actually get in a lot of these other countries, it is dirt cheap to move around and do what you want to do. Like, I've had so many people tell me, hey, I've gone to Thailand and had the time of my life because the cost of everything is so cheap. Like, food, you understand? Like, even hotels and stuff like that.
Yeah, you live in large.
All right, so like you coming over there with your, you understand, American dollar compared to what they got.
I know in Africa, I think it's like one of their dollars is $3 of ours. I think that's how it is in Ghana. That's what Shad was telling me.
Yeah, so like that's why I always tell people, listen, if I could have that chance, like we used to see those little posts, and they be like, which would you take? And then like, oh, what if you could travel for free for like a whole year straight, or them others? I would take that, because just so I can get to my destination, I'm straight after that. Because like I said, on most of these places, it's not that expensive to stay in. It's really not. And even I was peeping that same thing for like Dubai too. Like I know Dubai is supposed to be known as like more money wise and everything like that, but that's because people are focusing on all those bigger, more expensive like hotels. They got a bunch of other hotels that look really like look nice, like our hotels that are supposed to be the really nice ones that are like dirt cheap, because Dubai is like the place of like billionaires and all the money. For
even
them,
they poor is
right? So like for them, everything got to be top notch. So even the stuff that's like lower tier, that's still top notch too, compared to like our stuff. So they top notch stuff is like out of this world, right? So but like they regular top notch stuff is like our hotels that are like top notch. So that's why it's weird. So I was looking at one of them things and I was like, oh, this is a nice place to stay. And I was like, and this is cheap. So I was like, I guess I'd do that. So that's when I hear people say they travel and they going to Dubai. I'm assuming those are the places that they stay in, because everybody we know, they ain't no like billionaires or millionaires like that to be staying in them expensive. Right. So, I mean, for me, that's great. And like I said, I do check up and see those things sometimes. It's really, really cheap half the time to go over those other places. It's just getting there is the issue. Oh, note to self, remember, I am trying to travel for my birthday next year, so y'all start saving y'all coins.
Oh man,
I'm trying to go.
I'm gonna say 5 racks.
I just only want to go overseas. Like I told you, the plane ticket.
I only want to go.
Listen,
I'm trying to go to Egypt, man.
I actually wanted to go either 2 places. My 2 places I want to go is either Italy or Dubai. Dubai has always been my #1 destination of where I want to go. But I was like, if I cannot afford to go that far, I'll just do the Italy trip. I'll just do that. Because I figure if I land in Italy, depending on how many days I'm staying there, maybe I can maneuver around and go visit, different other maybe cities or countries that are close by. When you're in Europe, I realize people have that option. So, low key, you guys may not notice it, but people who live in Europe, you kind of have it good, because you kind of can go from this country to that country.
Don't they got universal health care?
Yeah.
Hey, that says it all. That says it all. We ain't gonna get into the politics.
For them, they can legitimately jump on a train and go from like maybe England and go to like, you know what I'm saying? Most of those countries that are around them are close, but we can't really do that. Other than if you're going to Mexico or Canada, but you can't really do that. So
I'm trying to go on a cruise.
Same.
My birthday next year.
Let's do that.
I want to go on one sooner, like next week.
if y'all were trying to do a cruise, if we were still, well, for me, if I like funds right now was there, I would have tried to do October, because October is the best time to do
that's
cruises.
peak month. So let's do next October.
To my
Let's
next
catch
year,
us, let's catch us a flyers cruise.
because like that's what I was telling y'all. Sadly, Carnival lands on an awkward day. Well, not really awkward. It's
I'd
just
rather do Carnival than the
what, the cruise.
yeah.
No, but this is weird. Okay, so my aunt and them usually do a cruise every year, all the time. But they usually book it for late October, which I expected them to do. And I was going to like go with them because of course I had the funds to do it early in the year. But I was like, they booked it because they were like, oh, we went there to wherever the cruise had it. So they was like, they don't want to go to those places. So they went for an earlier date so they can go to different places. So now their cruise is supposed to leave on the 12th. Carnival is on the 13th. And so, and you know, Juve is 12th and 13th also.
So they're not doing those?
Nah. And my cousin got upset because my cousin was like, I've never really gone to Carnival. He wants to go. He wants to go like really, really bad. So he was like, it just sucks because like they gotta be on the cruise. And I wanted all of us to go to the cruise this year because he gonna have a bunch of his homeboys that's going on there. So like then I would have had us going. So we could have made it like, you know what I'm saying, fun and made it lit. And they're going on the biggest cruise ship in the world. They're going on Symphony of the Seas on Royal Caribbean. And trust me, I can tell you from experience, I went on Harmony of the Seas. That was amazing. So they going on Symphony. That's supposed to be bigger than Harmony.
Mhm.
I know that cruise is gonna be amazing because Symphony now has laser tag on their cruise.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, they got like endless amount of
We
stuff.
sure we don't want to go?
Man, first of all, with them
Right, you
cruises-
telling me how the one you went on is
Like-
amazing, and then now
I'm gonna be like
they go on a better one?
for 1,400.
like
No.
800.
Well, okay. So, for example, like it's like if we were doing it like us three, and then maybe like one other person. So you try to always fill up each
Right.
room,
Yeah.
so it can be the lower prices.
Right.
For us, like he's saying, it probably would drop down to like 8 something or 7 something,
Right.
which in hindsight is not that bad compared to like I'm saying. I'm complaining that traveling overseas is expensive because of the price. That's just the ticket price for just to fly. With cruises, once you pay that 8, 9 something, you are set. You
Flat
literally
rate.
can sit back and not spend another dime because you're getting all you can eat.
All you can drink.
Right, buffet type of style food of like gourmet chefs making your, you know what I'm saying?
Your breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Right. And then you got, like I said, on our cruise we had big water slides. We had that dry slide, which was the abyss.
Mm-hmm.
We had 2-wave runner type things where you can go and try to surf type of thing. We had zip line. I zip line for the first time, and it was on the cruise. I zip lined across. We had 2 huge walls of rock climbing. And they wasn't like because when I saw the picture, I was like, oh, that's cute. They have like a nice little rock climbing wall. How wrong was I? They were ain't nothing but cute. That was like a professional rock climbing wall. The rock climbing wall went from the 7th floor all the way up to the 16th floor on our cruise. That wall, and they had 2 of them. They were huge. You would see them like if you go to the back of like the ship to like where they had like that water tapper show and stand and look. I literally stood there because we went like around at night. We were walking around. We always walking around at night. And my cousin joked with me. He was like, "Oh, you said you're going rock climbing tomorrow, right?" He was like, "Oh, that's what you're supposed to be climbing?" Bro, we stood from like the 6th floor, looked up. I was like, this looked way smaller from
Right.
far from like, you know, before you get on like the cruises and stuff,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you see things and you think, oh, I got that.
Your perspective.
My perspective was so different standing there looking at this like, and I'm supposed to try to make it up to what? And them rock climbing stuff, you got to do that stuff during the day. So that's when the line's long, everybody watching you. I'm like, oh, I don't know about that one. I was like, I might have to pass on that one. I wanted to do it, but even my dad told me, he was like, you're crazy if you try to go do that. He was like, that thing was really, really tall.
Yeah, I'm trying to see a whole country full of different type of women.
Oh, and that's the crazy part. I remember when we went to Jamaica, because that's like, for some reason, when we went to Jamaica, I guess that was the place that most of the cruises landed, because of course most of the cruises all go to like a lot of the same places. So like we had Carnival Cruise Line, we had a bunch of them that landed there as well. And it was like a huge group of females, like a bunch of them that looked really nice. That was like close kind of in our group because we're in this huge group of going up Dunge Riverfront. If you ever do that when you go to Jamaica, it's like their main attraction. It's like you climb this huge river that they got up there. It's really, really nice. It's waterfall, sorry, that they got. It's really, really nice. That thing is nice. You just wear all stuff that can get wet because you're gonna get soaking wet.
Mm-hmm.
That thing was fun. It was tiresome after we were done, but that thing was really fun. And my cousins in there was taking pictures with like the chicks and stuff like that. Like that was there. There was like 7 of them. Like that was by our group. The only thing that sucked that they weren't on our cruise, but we had other like cute females that are on our cruise too. So we got lucky with that. Yeah, we really got lucky with that.
You know what I want to do that I'm terrified to do?
What's that?
Go skydiving.
I do want to do that. I was supposed to do that for one of my birthdays, but
I would do.
I eventually would do it, but I just gotta.
I want to do it. I don't know if I can commit like what y'all just said,
Mhm.
but I want to do it.
I
All you
want to
gotta
do
do
it.
is say you're gonna do it.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like I just have to do it and like put myself in a situation where I can't back out. And
Like get on the plane.
Yeah, because even with the zip lining thing, because I know it's kind of high up.
Yeah.
Like I just had to like when I'm doing something that might scare me, I just try my best to not dwell on it and think about it. I just sit there and be like, all right, I'm gonna do it. It's gonna get done. Think about everything else until I have to get up to that moment, and I think that's what I'll have to do with the skydiving thing. Just kind of be like, while I'm in the plane, think about everything else.
It's gonna be the best thing you ever experienced when you hit the ground.
Right. And then,
like for a fact, you gonna like I've never been
even with the zip lining thing, and the only reason, like, thankfully I was in that mindset because I could have psyched myself out because, ironically, he's like family to us. It was this dude who's in front of us. Sorry, Steve. He was standing in front of me, and he freaked out. I was like, oh God. He freaked out so bad. He was in front of me, and he was like, I don't know if I want to go again or whatever. I was doing the zip line, and he freaked out so bad. So like, it took like a while, like, cause everybody doing like clockwork. They was doing them like. It got to him. We were standing there for like maybe 5-10 minutes because like he was like legitimately panicking. Like that thing was crazy. And like my other cousins that was standing on the side like to do the recording, and we were just sitting there, and I was just like, yo, I'm just waiting for my turn so I can go. They finally got him to go so he could go across. Okay. But that thing was so crazy because I didn't think he was gonna make it across because he really was like panicking. The dude was all like, trying to calm him down. Me and the dude trying to talk him, you'll be all right, you'll be fine. Because honestly, even though the zip line is not that long, like it's just one of those things. Like he's saying, once you get into it, you understand that motion, whatever, you'll be fine. Like you'll be fine. The only thing I probably regret on that cruise was because I didn't know, and they didn't tell me. One of the excursions on that cruise was when we went to Labadee, Haiti, was ziplining. And that would have been a cool experience because they have the largest zip line that goes over the ocean. So their zip line goes from like up, like somewhere like in the mountains that they got, and it comes like right over the ocean, come back down to like on the side like of the beach. And I was like, why y'all didn't say anything? I was like, I would have tried so hard to put money towards for us to do that excursion like how we did the one in Jamaica, because I was like, I understand y'all just wanted to come here and just do a beach day for that one, but we could have did that. Like that thing was nice, and they had like them big like professional huge zip line type stuff, like the gear to put on, the line stuff. I would have loved to.
For me too, they ain't trying to get no lawsuit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that stuff is serious. I would have loved to do that though. Imagine going over the water.
Yeah, that sounds really nice.
Yeah, that thing was nice. That's why I was
probably clear over that and everything.
Right. Oh yeah. That's why to me, like when I was trying to plan the one to do this year, when I was trying to do it around my birthday time, which I should have just planned to do it in like October time. I should have thought of that because it's cheaper. I was like, I don't care for the islands that I've already been to. I'll do them again just because I know y'all haven't been there. So I would have done them again. So I was either trying to do Symphony of the Seas or I was trying to do Harmony because I don't mind doing Harmony again because y'all haven't been on Harmony. Right. And I want y'all to get that experience of like that 7-day cruise being on a huge cruise. Because that's a whole nother beast than being on these smaller cruises, and especially like shorter days. When you're on a huge cruise like that, like you legitimately can't run out of things to do. Like it was hard to run out of things to do. They got a different show every night. They got an experience, right? They got a different show every night. They had it where even if you don't want to go watch one of the shows, because they got multiple shows, they had like little karaoke night stuff that they had where they had people like grown people sitting in there like drinking, doing the karaoke thing. Like that was fun. They had a nightclub that they had on the ship, so we was always in there like every other night. So we was enjoying that. I remember they had a silent party one of the nights that we were in there. I think I still have a picture from that.
Silent party.
Yeah. You never heard of those? Okay, so silent party is when you put down. You ever see people when they got like the headphones on and it's like different colors? That's a silent party because obviously when you take the headphones off, it's dead quiet inside. But because all the music is playing in the headphones. So for us, usually with silent parties, they have like 1 or 2 stations or 1 or 2 things that you have. So like, depending on the color that you see on the person's head, you can tell what
they listening to.
Oh. So I may be on the green side, So I may be listening to like, you know, they might be playing like Michael Jackson on this side,
Right.
and then maybe you have on red, and maybe they might be playing hip hop on the red side. So and you can easily go and dance with the
Right.
person because you know what
That sounds
groove that.
really fun.
Yeah, it's actually really nice. I was happy that they did it on the cruise. I was like, I always wanted to experience one of these, and it was actually really nice.
I've never even heard of that before.
Me neither.
Oh yeah, I was surprised. Like people were doing that for a while, especially like when I was up there in Boston.
Mhm.
I seen there was like an epidemic of that. They were doing a lot of those like silent parties, and I always wanted to do that. I always wanted to do one, and I finally got a chance to do it. It's nice. Yeah, I mean, I would tell people, of course, it's better get to do it when you kind of have listening to music that you like.
Right.
Because with the cruise, like we were just basically they had to appeal to like the masses, so they had to have to throw those songs that like are neutral that everybody can kind of like, so they were still nice. But imagine like you're in a silent party that like say we're running, that's different because now I can have two sides. I could probably play you like that soca dance hall on one side and then play like hip hop and rap on another side. So that imagine that could be like crazy lit. So I mean, I would actually like to try to think that idea, do that for a party one day maybe. But that the only problem with that is getting those headphone stuff, equipment stuff to do that stuff. That'd probably be the only headache of trying to get that stuff done and how even to get that stuff. I would love to do that. I'm telling you, I really want y'all to experience a cruise. I've been wanting y'all to experience a cruise for the longest because them things is nice, especially that.
Let's even on the cruise.
Shit.
The one from
They say,
Bahamas, man.
yeah.
the one that we were.
16 years old.
And
That's how we were,
and that's the
yeah.
funny part, like, cause we see y'all, cause y'all never been on ones like that. Y'all considered that like a
Yeah.
cruise. For us,
But-
that wasn't
but-
a cruise that did for us. For the rest of us, it
If
was
we would have
like,
did that for like 7 days, older, Carnival would have been lit. Carnival would have been lit. Because they had club enough for us, 18 under.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
that shit?
oh, okay.
That's why I've been old girl that. I thought she was the love of my life at 16. I ain't never see her again after that.
Be like that.
That's life, dog.
Shoot, that's how it was on the cruise. Like, I told you, the same girl that I told you I was checking up on South African, my African friend.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly where I met her at. I met her on that cruise. Because I thought she was from, like, or just live in Miami now. I was like, okay. You know, somebody usually tell you they're African, it's their parents or something, or they're over here. When she was telling me, like, no, I'm African and I still live in Africa. I'm like, okay, you're like, so after you get off this cruise, you're going back home.
Going home.
Right. So, like, that was the tough part. I mean, of course, she still had that, she has, like, that strong accent that you can hear. So, but I thought it was cute. I thought I had liked it a lot. And it was just so cool to me that she could speak 5 different languages. Mind you,
Yeah, that's turning.
not 5 different languages of different countries, 5 different African languages. I thought that was the dopest thing I've heard in my life.
Dialect is tough.
I was like, what? You can speak 5 different African languages? I was like, that's mind blowing. Like, even when I talked to one of my friends from Nigeria, she was like, even in Nigeria, everybody doesn't speak the same.
Same with Ghana.
Yeah,
Same.
like Nigerian dialect. Everybody is different ones. And I was like, how do y'all even like survive? Like that would be crazy tough for me. Like just imagine learning just one language, and then there's multiple versions of that language. You understand? In that country, like that's just. I know that gotta be a headache for them.
Yeah, I witnessed it firsthand.
Yeah.
We had three people from Ghana on our team, and only
None
one
of
of them
them
spoke. One of them was their translator, but all 3 of them naturally spoke a different language. Only one of them could connect the other 2 to understand what they were saying.
That's crazy.
What?
Samson, Shad, and Lydia. Lydia was a monster, man. She never lost a race, dog.
Who was the translator? Shad?
Nah, Samson. Shad didn't understand Lydia at first. Like,
That's crazy.
That's dope.
yeah,
That probably would have been a priority for me if I would have grew up in them type of countries. I probably had no choice but to learn the other languages.
Oh yeah, no choice.
And that's to I'm gonna dive into that later. I'm not gonna diving too much into it, but that's why I be telling people all the time. That's a little bit where I get aggravated with some of the Spanish people here, because I'm like, bro, y'all be coming here and be like, oh, y'all don't know no bit. You understand? Of like English. All those people that I see that come from those other countries abroad on that side, especially like those African countries, when they come here, and like I said, Africa, China, all them people, by the time they land here, they usually know how to speak English already. And I'm like, they at least make it an emphasis when them kids are growing up that, you understand? You gotta know this stuff before you go over there. That's why I give them a lot of credit and a lot of respect, because it's like, they be still knowing their language and then knowing your stuff too.
All of them spoke English. All three of them spoke English as well as
But that's what I'm
their
saying.
native language.
Like, I've met so many Africans, and I'm talking about pure Africans that like I'm maybe only over here on a school visa type stuff, and they can speak clear cut. You understand English, even if their English is not somewhat. You know, you show that effort. You understand? You can understand them. They try. So it's like that's why I guess I get upset when I hear